Eagles are the best roster in the NFL. But over the course of the last 2 years, they've been surging, shrinking, hot, cold, based on their coordinators. And I think they've hired a coordinator, a first-time play caller, and he's struggling to kind of find his way. So talented players don't just suddenly get untalented. And last year, this offense was unbelievable. Philadelphia's got a coaching crisis. And in times of crisis, you have to go back to your identity. And the Eagles' identity is pretty obvious. Last 2 years, they're 12-0 when they throw fewer than 25 times. Run the damn ball and be physical. It's not complicated. So it's interesting. Sometimes it's very complicated. Why is a team losing? And you're looking around, you're like, I don't know, like Kansas City last night. Well, the 13 penalties, we had a bad pick 6, but they should have won. They averaged 7.6 yards a play. So you fly back home and you're scratching your head. It's not difficult with this team. They were 2-2 last year at the bye, and you know what they did? Threw the ball less, ran more, and it won. Here's Matt Hasselbeck yesterday on their issues.
I just think that Philly needs to just be proud of who they are. Like, I think, sometimes you're trying to feed disgruntled players just a little bit. You're trying to keep everybody happy. I think Saquon, I appreciate how they're getting involved in the passing game, but you're giving the defense too much credit if you just say, oh, they're going to, quote unquote, stack the box against Saquon. Make them prove that they can stop the run. That would be my advice to Philly. Make every team you play prove that they are as physical as they are lining up to be with guys in the box.
Yeah, there should never be a moment for the Philadelphia Eagles when you lead by 14 points and Saquon Barkley finishes with only 6 carries. That is coaching malfeasance. And for the record, coaches and players improve. That is not to say their new offensive coordinator can't grow and get better. I watched Matt LaFleur, first-year Packer coach. The second year, I felt like, wow, he was a much better situational coach in year 2, a much better coach after halftime. Coaches improve. But, yeah, I don't think it's complicated with Philadelphia. Just run the ball more.
We live in a cartoon world, man. I mean, this is some Roger Rabbit strange world. Like, I just, oh my God. Do you hear this? When the Eagles, oh my God. When the Eagles were undefeated and were winning, it was like, well, they don't pass the ball enough. They don't pass the ball enough. A.J. Brown. And now they pass the ball. And they had every right to win that game, by the way. Every right to win that game. And it's just like, oh, what are they doing? And also, guys, the O-line hasn't been great right now because of injuries. Because of whatever reasons you want to give. And Saquon Barkley hasn't been able to be super, super productive. He's being met at the line immediately. Okay? Because their offense has become too predictable combined with their O-line issues. So how do you find your way through that a little bit? You have to start to throw the ball more. You have to be more unpredictable. You have to be more creative. Did you see the play from Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid where Patrick Mahomes spun around? He did like 8-3, 60 eyes before handing the ball off. Little things like that can work pretty well, which we saw, I think, the same play in the Packers versus the Dodgers. That play is seemingly becoming more and more popular. Quite the copycat league. But the answer isn't just, oh, they tried to throw the ball, so they lost. They just need to run the ball more, then they'll win. Guys, this is just the laziest, dumbest narrative at this point. It really is. It really is. I'm recording this right before the Herd hire. And to be clear, all these comments are not directed towards Colin. This is like the media conversation as a whole. I want to be very clear, very, very, very clear about that. That whole thing my little rant that I just went on, that's about the media as a whole, not Concord. Can't be any clearer about that. But it's just the whiplash. I keep saying this, the whiplash around the Philadelphia Eagles, man, it's exhausting. The Kansas City Chiefs lose to a worse team. The Jacksonville Jaguar, I think the Denver Broncos are a better team. They lose to a worse team. And Cullen just goes, I think the Chiefs are completely fine. I think they're great. I'm not worried. Blah, 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 blah. The Eagles lose to, again, a team that I think is great, the Denver Broncos. And Colin thinks they're great. Colin believes the Denver Broncos are better than the Jags. And it's all doom and gloom. It's all doom and gloom. That's what I can't wrap my head around. That's what I can't wrap my head around. The team that lost their first game in like a year. It's just ridiculous. It really is. It's exhausting. This is why I say, Philadelphia Eagles fans, please do not forget to subscribe. I keep telling y'all, we are going all in. We are creating an avalanche of a community that cannot be ignored, that is fully rooted in this sports talk world, so we can continue to have the best possible sports conversations. And when you subscribe, when you watch the full length of video, this is what happens. We go vertical, and that is what I'm trying to create. I am trying to create a snowball effect so we can just get after it, because it's mind-numbing. It's mind-numbing that Jalen Hurts gets more criticism for essentially playing like a flawless game against the Buccaneers, against the Broncos, really any game this year. He's been great. Jalen Hurts has not put a foot wrong this entire season, and yet he's been under such scrutiny. Patrick Mahomes throws a pick six in the red zone at the 3-yard line, and it's nothing. It's Patrick Mahomes didn't see him. He didn't see the defender. I mean, come on. It's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. It's unbelievable. Someone like Baker Mayfield, who has a great game against the Seattle Seahawks, it's all about, man, did you see what Baker did? He had no run support and this and that, and oh, look what he did. And it's like Jalen Hurts literally beat Baker Mayfield. He took care of the ball. Baker Mayfield threw an interception. Jalen Hurts also didn't have any run support, and he had to do everything himself as well. But yet, someone like Jalen and the Philadelphia Eagles don't get any credit for a big win. Like, just watch. We're about to see if he puts the Buccaneers ahead of the Philadelphia Eagles in his herd hierarchy. It's going to be fascinating to see. I can't wait. By the time you're watching this video, that video will probably already be posted. So check it out. But it's just like the conversations we've had this season are more all over the place than I think I've ever seen them. They really are. And then they will still invent things too. And we're going to do this also for you know, the quarterback mountain here, you know, at 4 C's. But it's just crazy too, because what Jalen Hurts has had to deal with, top foreign pressures, right? And yet people just want to keep acting like he's just kind of been dealing with this perfect scenario, and then gets no credit for leading this Philadelphia Eagles team with a brand new coordinator, who Colin right now is saying is not doing very well. Okay. A defense that isn't as great as it was last season, an O-line that is struggling, a lack of run game, and yet he's led the Philadelphia Eagles to a 4-1 record. And yet Jalen Hurts' proof is not a good quarterback. They need to run the ball more, and that the Philadelphia Eagles are in trouble, and et cetera, 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 et cetera. And it's just like, who can keep up with all these ridiculous narratives? Who can keep up with these storylines, with these threads? The Kansas City Chiefs have a flag picked up, have a terrible pass interference, a non-call, both calls for both the pass interference, one offense, and one defensive that weren't called. And it's just because the Chiefs are brilliant. They understand the rules. They understand the rules of football better than anyone else. And the Philadelphia Eagles do their tush-push, and it's just moral panic. It's just all hands on deck on saying this is wrong. This is a disaster for the league. It's cheating. You remember that? Remember that? That 247 news cycle around the tush-push. Whatever happened to that? It doesn't exist anymore, because it was maybe a bad idea to try to pretend like something was going on with the Philadelphia Eagles. One of the most popular, most watched teams in the NFL, one of the greatest teams in the NFL. It wasn't very popular, was it? Trying to pretend that people don't want to watch. The Philadelphia Eagles, even though their ratings are through the roof and you want to start talking about issues with officiating when we watch a Jacksonville Jaguars game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And we have multiple times in that game where Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, and the NFL rules analyst for ESPN is just like, this was the wrong call. This should have been going. This should have went against the Kansas City Chiefs, which led directly to 14 points. 14 points. Make sure we have a 247 news cycle about that. But instead, no. What do we get? You want to know, see what we get? Colin does a whole segment of how the Chiefs are just smarter than everyone. Refs pick up pass interference flag on Kelsey TD. Are Mahomes and KC smartest team in the NFL? I don't understand. Jalen Hurts throws an interception, it's because he's bad. Patrick Mahomes throws an interception, it's because, well, he just didn't see the defender. Am I losing my mind here? Am I crazy? You guys, that's why you guys, there's just an avalanche of nonsense. It's why I genuinely appreciate when you do subscribe and you watch the full-length video and you leave comments, because it makes me feel less crazy, because there are so many insane comments out there of people saying just insane stuff that I need the more competent, positive, grounded comments to start to drown out the nonsense. It is an actual plea for help at this point. I need to be able to read the comment section and just go, they get it. They get it. They see it. They see it. Because right now everything is just being lit on fire. A lot of people gaslighting. A lot of people love to just keep using random phrases that I don't think they actually understand, like bias. Like right now the word of the season right now is cherry picking, which I just, again, as someone who actually worked with data and research, I don't think people actually understand what cherry picking is. I don't know why that word suddenly got really popular right now this season, but that's like the go-to cherry picking. You know, I'll last season it was glaze. This season it's cherry picking. I mean, I don't know how some of these things just start to get really popular, but right now it's just cherry picking, cherry pick it. It's like, guys, when you pick like 20 plays out of a single game, that's not what cherry picking is. It's called data. It's called evidence. Like, oh gosh, just crazy. Can't wait to jump into the herd hierarchy right now. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? Has Philly lost their championship identity based off of one loss? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun, and please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.